Wake up, buy here, pay here people. It's a beautiful day. Go grab yourself another cup of joe and say hello to Jim and Michelle Rhoads on the Buy Here, Pay Here Morning Show. Take it away, you two.
Hey.
Well, hello.
Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Welcome to a Wednesday episode of the Buy Here, Pay Here Morning Show.
Yes, it is.
We're in our studio in North Ogden, Utah, where it's set to snow again and again. I don't know if you folks have seen, and lots of folks out there dealing with weather this week. The forecast we saw yesterday called for 30 to 60 inches of snow this week. 60 inches is 5 feet, folks.
Yeah.
So,
well, and so we bit the bullet and bought a snowblower. Yeah. No one wants to have to shovel that. I guess we're staying for a while, at least till we can pay that off.
Yeah. Sorry. We got chili fixins, and we're good
we
for this
week. We ran to the grocery store yesterday because we knew the storm was coming in and said, what do we need to keep us busy until we leave? We have a client meeting out of state next week. And so what do we need?
Yep.
So we can just hanker down. So we're really happy to be here. And January is it's moving and it's rocking and rolling for a lot of people. We see a lot of buzz in the Facebook groups about, how is your tax return money stuff going? And it's but there's a lot of people out there asking about it. Mm-hmm. And, we are from our friends from TaxMax, they have indicated that this is going to be a bigger return year. Typically. Yeah,
typically the refunds are going to start flowing in the third week, we'll say, of January. So they at least when the IRS starts cutting the dollars, right? So so it'll take a little bit, but not very many people actually have their taxes turned around that fast. So it'll stretch out. A couple quick announcements. Don't forget Friday we have Brent Carmichael coming to join us to talk about overhead, and he's got lots of different ways to talk about overhead. He and I have been chatting a little bit, and different ways that NCM measures operating expenses. And so that'll be one not to miss for sure. If you can't catch it live, be sure to find it on replay. Also, while I'm mentioning that, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the best place to find all the stuff. That we do.
Yes.
And then also a quick update. I don't know if I've even told Michelle this part yet, but
we've got users are talking about taxes. They're saying it started since last month with estimates, and just printed the 2 advance checks today.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that's the advance money, though. That's not the actual refund. So then that way you're starting to be able to leverage the anticipated refund. So that part started in December. So we definitely like the idea of doing that. And we've had Bill from TaxMax on the show a time or two. He's it's somebody I've worked with TaxMax since the 90s when I was a manager.
A dealer, he used them. Yeah.
So I've known that program.
Yeah, he actually they reached out to him saying, "Hey, how did you manage to do so many returns?" Because
he did a pretty good volume.
He did really good volume, and it's just if you're looking for ways to talk about it, introduce it to, there's some pieces we have out there on YouTube, and I should probably just throw them into the Institute as like something for people to get access to. And
we have a Buenos Dias from St. George, Utah. So that's going to probably be our friend Adrian Bueno.
Yes, so, it's nice and warm down there. Yes, save us a spot. And
for sure.
Yeah,
good to hear from you, Adrian. So so just a couple other quick updates. February 15th, we have our first dealer roundup. So just for those who haven't heard, dealer roundup is kind of the new name for some of these dealer panel formats. We're going to do virtual, and based on feedback from the Facebook groups, we have moved those to morning. We're doing a Thursday morning early, starting at 9 Eastern, and doing 3 back-to-back
sessions,
dealer panels.
And we're anticipating that we're going to be doing 6 of those through the year. So February will be our first one. And so it's when we say roundup, it's kind of like a round table too. Yeah. So let's have a conversation about the things that are mattering to people the most.
Yeah. And yesterday, the part I haven't told you is that Melanie Goldman, who we've not had a chance to meet in person, she affirmed that she could be a panelist for the session on inventory pipeline. So I'll be reaching out to other panelists this week. I've got some emails already going out.
Check your inboxes.
Yeah, check those inboxes.
If you've got something that you want to, you feel like you'd really add an awful lot of expertise and just
or if
reach
somebody
out to
you want
us.
to hear from, let us know.
So it's going to be inventory. It's going to be our inventory pipeline.
And then growth
strategies. And then there was a third one.
We haven't chosen the third one yet. So I'm still deciding on that. But really, I need to go back out.
I think a lot of times when we do those polls, because we do polls all the time, just to kind of get a finger on the pulse of what it is that dealers really want to hear and what they want to learn about. And I think the other one was collections, but we'll go ahead and take a look at that and verify. But it's going to be, the things that people want to hear about. And so, and putting the people that are dealers or real subject matter experts on a panel so that we can have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So anyway, mark that for February 15th on a Thursday morning, and we look forward to that. And then so today we came to talk about something big in the industry, and this is not a new conversation for us. And some folks know, they've been getting the emails and heard us talk a little bit about, we've got a new product, a new solution, but it's not about that. It's really about, it's part of what spurred the conversation is all the people we've been talking to, and Michelle,
the feedback we're getting from people, and just the feedback has been really interesting. It's been edifying.
I asked Michelle to watch with me last night a replay of a meeting that I had with a dealer who and his wife, who's involved in the business, and they talked through kind of what they're hungry for and what they've been looking for a while
too. And why they it's like, this is what we're looking for. So it's super important, I think. And this is something that we've actually, during our developing our business, that we have a really great coach that we keep in contact with, but she was super instrumental at the very, very beginning. And one of the things that she talked about was making that when you create a product or something, make sure that it's a product that people need and not something that you're going to try to sell them on that they need after you've created it.
Right.
And so that's kind of been one of our real motivators in why we do a lot of polls, why we're out there talking to people, why we're watching what's in Facebook and social media, because we're really trying to make sure that what we're talking about is what dealers need to hear. And so we were kind of discussing how that's so important just in all of the things, all of the offerings that we as vendors, coaches offer, is just, is making sure that it's things that our dealers can use. And also it's the modernizing of how we deliver those things, because that's been one thing that we've been really hearing an awful lot about is, the idea that, that something can be virtual is very appealing, because it's just, I wish I had it queued, but, one of the things that the dealer that Jim spoke with yesterday, he was kind of giving the format, and he's like, it's in the evening, bring a sandwich or a beer, and we're just going to talk about the numbers. And so super casual, bring your wife if you want to, it's going to be your wife and business partner kind of thing.
Or a girlfriend. I wouldn't bring both.
Yeah. But no, honey. Wow. But it's about, it's meeting dealers where they are is one thing, is about, as what we're seeing that dealers want is meeting them where they are instead of requiring them to meet you where you are. Is a big deal, but and that's that whole modernizing thing of of creating things and listening to the dealers that are listening to the dealers. I mean, that's the customer, and that's what we should be doing. And just paying attention to.
Let me kind of keep it broad here.
Okay.
Let me kind of back up to. Let me give the quick, for those who didn't tune in on Monday, and for those who don't particularly know my background. Let's go back. Stepped into the new car business as a salesperson in 95, sales manager probably in 96, then stepped into the buy here, pay here side as a manager in 97 with this organization that had franchise stores. And started doing consulting in 2000, became a dealer in 2005, continued to do consulting throughout that period, worked with dealers and kind of had some little mini groups that I worked with privately, just friend groups, really, not a professional service. And then, but having been a dealer, as a manager in 97, all these years of doing this, and then the history of us and kind of what we're doing and why it's important is this is all part of, what you're seeing is me just kind of recognizing a void and we have industry connections, right? We have relationships all across the industry at all kinds of levels. And we know lots of dealers and we talk to lots of dealers and we're active in social media and we hear what they could use. And we don't see anybody else creating it. So what you're really seeing is leadership from White Hat Way, just stepping in. And it's really, it's bigger than Jim and Michelle. It's right. It's about us creating things, under the brand of White Hat Way. And the reason that's important is because, these articles that you see me sending on blog posts, whatever, like we mean what we say about we're going to be collaborative. Like we're just trying to create.
I love it when I see other people in our space that are stepping forward with, shifting, modernizing, changing the way that they're doing things. And it's just like, I want to just standing ovation. Yay. Because the way that it's living in a modern world, one is difficult if we are relying on, outdated ways of doing our business. And we really, how many of you out there remember when it used to be a Rolodex and you had the cards and you kept everything in a file and all of that? And there are still dealers out there that do that. And, not capitalizing on the way of being able to meet our customers, new customers where they're at.
Well, and for some, that's what they choose. Yeah. I think what our Monday topic was really around this idea of, we know that some dealers are just kind of on an island. That's one of the things we see. We talk to a lot of dealers who they call us and ask us questions. We'll have an exploratory meeting and they're asking things or we see people asking things on Facebook. Like they don't have a good place to go to get this kind of information that we're talking about.
And because also not everyone has the ability for a multitude of reasons to make it to every conference or to join a 20 group or something. They just don't have that ability to do that. And for whatever their reasons are. And that's something else that we've been hearing an awful lot of is that dealers are hungry for people to meet them where they,
and I think the other thing that's happening is like, when I think about the leadership part of us, we're stepping into it, right? We've invested, we did a beta group thing on our deal in the end of last year. We've now rolled it out and it's imperfect and it's new and everybody I've been talking to and people who know me know that's my nature anyway. We're rolling it out. It's not perfect. We're going to figure it out as we go, and we're going to get it's
our coach better done than perfect.
Yeah,
and then you just perfect it along the way and just make little tweaks and make it work for people. And that's something that I'm super, super grateful for, is that we are really nimble and able to do that.
And I think like I said, it's really not about us. It's about the dealers. It's like, how do we create solutions? If dealers tell us they need it, nobody else is doing it, then let's figure it out and let's get it going. And it's just like, to me, it's like just stepping forward and look, like I say, it's not perfect. We're talking to a lot of dealers. There's a lot of interest around what we're doing, and we want to see dealers step in because, we can't create solutions. We can conceptualize and draw them out and we can invite people to the thing. But if we don't get enough adoption, then it won't be there for a solution for dealers and it won't stick around. So what we're seeing is dealers are stepping in, we're contracting dealers and they're stepping in and we're saying, look, this thing, we're going to go prove this thing. We're going to figure it out as a group as we go. And that's kind of what, without making it so much about the V8 group format that we created, it's really about other services. Cause we've conceptualized other related services to what we're doing, but it obviously takes some effort, takes some planning, takes some resources to get those things to market and make them available to dealers. And so I just think this is all part of how do we, as an industry, this is kind of more of an industry conversation. And we know, as we talked about on Monday, that our industry is often behind the franchise and independent retail space, right? Buy here, pay here is kind of the junior high, if you want to.
I have equated it to, I grew up back and forth from Seattle to Utah, and Utah was always at least a decade behind on all the fashion.
Yeah.
And they've modernized since then, but it's been an interesting thing coming from the tech world, which is where I worked with a startup, and it was tech before I joined Jim. It's like there's so much room for growth.
Well, and I think what Michelle has just explained is part of why I'm feeling comfortable in Utah, because I'm always way behind on fashion. So it works out, it fits, right? So no, it's all good. No, I think, so it's about how do you make a difference? Like for us at White Hat Way, we want to solve problems for dealers. It's part of what we're setting out to do. We want to do it, while wearing a white hat, which to us means it's about something beyond us. It's about intention, right? And doing a good thing on behalf, in this case, dealers. And so we're just stepping forward and offering to collaborate with anybody who wishes to join us. We will be reaching out to all the DMS providers and saying, here's the new solution. Here's how you can help your dealer users to have a better experience. And so this is not new conversation for us. I was thinking, I recorded 3 years ago a video about leadership. Like, it was part of my decision.
You were sitting there in in your hometown.
I was visiting my hometown. You were on
the football field that you used to play on.
Yeah. Why are you laughing? Why are you
just thought it was so cute.
Oh yeah. Well, at the end of it was really about, I went out there and just recorded a little selfie kind of video, and but it's really, my point is that this is not new for me. Like this idea of stepping into leadership, being a voice, working on behalf of dealers. Let's go find the stuff. Let's bring the people. Let's figure out the stuff. Let's go forward. It might not be perfect. We got to start figuring out some of these stuff because as consultant advisors saying, well, this is the way we've always done it.
Doesn't fly.
Not good enough.
And I really am appreciative, just even since I stepped into the space of automotive buy here, pay here, how there are some really beautiful solutions that have come forward for dealers to, bring them into a very modern age. We can think of underwriting tools, CRM tools. We can think of closing tools. We've had multiple conversations recently about dealers being really concerned about staying compliant and making sure that they do not open themselves up to any problems. So it's one of the dealers that we're helping to launch right now. It's like, it's hard to, when it's a he said, she said, that kind of thing. And so we have a couple of vendors that we're going to be introducing them to like, this might be a solution for you. And it's a modern dealer service. It's something that is new. And so we just, and we were actually chatting with a dealer this morning that said, one of the vendors that we've been chatting with the other dealer with, he says, yeah, I'm thinking about doing it. And I look at it as like, the cost is just like having another person on the team that's going to do everything exactly the same and right. Yeah. And that it's just a really beautiful tool and extra person on the team that can help. But it's a very modern way of doing this, especially since we're living in the era of different rules that are there's people out there that are just waiting for us to mess up on different things. Maybe. So
I just think for us, what I want folks to know about White Hat Way, there are a couple of things coming forward in terms of announcements that will help folks feel even more assured about the motivations behind White Hat Way, the transparency element that we talk about. And so people can get more comfortable with this idea that, look, we're just working on behalf of dealers. I'll tell you, at the end, what you'll see is White Hat Way is really bigger than the buy here, pay here industry. It goes beyond that. And because I've made my living in this space and I know it quite well, this is where we're starting the work with White Hat Way. But really what it is it's about, going into new territory, solving problems doing it, with good intentions and with the idea of helping others and leaving an industry better than we found it and all these kind of things. So this is part of the work that is all of this data stuff. And I'll share with our audience, we're not ready to roll it out. What you'll see in the future is we have the domain, for example, whitehatway.ai. So what you'll see eventually is that we'll start to roll those things out, because what we're trying to do is harness, or maybe in a cowboy vernacular, we're trying to lasso technology for the sake of for the benefit of dealers. And so this is about just getting out there and being able to pull those things together. We're just trying to be a voice, hopefully a consolidating voice that will be able to, everybody can see our intentions are successful dealers. End of story. We're just trying to create solutions that are going to help dealers succeed.
Yeah. And when we talk about, some of the colleagues in our space, some of the wonderful things that are being created, bringing the White Hat Way approach to the products and the services and all of that is one, it's let's do it in a way that is uplifting for all other colleagues, that is allowing a dealer to be able to make a choice without that works for them best. And let's not vendor to vendor speak unkindly or ill of other vendors that are out there. And it's something that there's room for all. And there's a, let's just create this amazing trough or banquet table of things that dealers can feast at, that all of us vendors and all of us, all of the dealers can just easily sit at and share and exchange and edify and collaborate and grow together. And that to me is what White Hat Way in services is. It's about creating things that can help dealers, but it's also about creating an environment where you're just there to help and help the dealer and help each other.
I think that's the kind of collaborative thing that I want to emphasize. And I enjoy these conversations because I get a chance to say things to dealers first. Primarily that's who I'm talking to, but I love that through this broadcast, we're able to also communicate the same thing to anybody else that's listening, whether they're in the vendor space or whether they're, state associations or anybody else. They're going to hear the same thing from us. This is what we like about transparency. We had conversations recently about trust and transparency. How do you do that? Well, first of all, you say the same thing to everybody, and so this is what the morning show allows us to do.
You're not saying it, you say to just about everybody too.
Yeah. And
like,
so we're,
this is what we're doing.
You folks who listen regularly, we don't have derogatory things to say about, we're not over here, bashing anybody. Here's what I can tell you though. White Hat Way, when I say collaboration for White Hat Way, I've got an article partially written about, imagine the day, like this is kind of the title of the article, like imagine the day, what this is going to look like. And I think when I think about collaboration with other providers in the space, I think the real vetting, or if you want to call it that, or whether people are going to sort of coalesce around this White Hat Way strategy and mission is, the first question has to be, are you truly interested in the success of these dealer users? Like, because if it, or are you more interested in your own success?
Well,
right?
that's like one of the things that we're working on with marketing is think a little bit less about making a buck and a lot more about making a difference.
Yeah, or a little bit more. Like it's just a small shift.
Okay,
it's like,
a little bit. I'd prefer if it was a lot more, but a little bit more
is
it's a small shift does make big results at the end.
Yeah, and so it's really about. And I was part of an organization some years ago, and I always think about this context. Like I was in a group, and I know that the person who created this group it was entrepreneurial, right? This is mostly business founders, and the the person who curated the group was really about, you're going to recognize when people come into this group who are takers.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And so it's kind of like, and I was thrilled to be a part of that group because I
had nothing to do with the industry. It was just a like entrepreneur group, like creators.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to Sandra. She's not listening, but she's busy. But we just know that is part of what I think you'll see White Hat Way look like is folks who come together and coalesce around this White Hat mission. They're going to know this is about dealer success, and of course, their consumers are successful through that success. And so this is what it's about. And so when we think about what is modernizing all services. So that's why we just call it dealer services. There's all kinds of services to provide to dealers. And how do we modernize that? How do we bring that forward? How do we harness the technology that is going to be, artificial intelligence, traditional intelligence? How do we bring that and deliver it to dealers in a way that, because I keep saying it, as a former dealer, being a buy here, pay here dealer is difficult. I said it to one of our former clients, just in a phone conversation earlier this week. Like, look, in buy here, pay here, we got all these different departments and things to keep in the air. We got inventory, we got sales, we got collection, we got underwriting, we got all these things we got to manage, right? We got personnel. And so it's a challenging business, and it's even more challenging right now, which means dealers need tools to make the best possible business decisions they can make so that they have a business that is sustainable. And just, I think the main thing is when it comes to services for dealers, we just want dealers to know, look, we're on your side.
Absolutely.
Like White Hat Way is on your side. And so we're just trying to make sure we can rally the stuff and bring the people and
leading the charge to making it easy for all the things to play nice with each other, making it easy for a dealer to make an educated choice in what works best for them. Because I'll tell you, we know this so well that one size never fits all.
No,
it just doesn't. Yeah.
It's not going to. And so that's okay. We have reasonable expectations around that thing. But I would just say that what you can expect to see from us is we're going to continue to drive that conversation. We're going to invite people to join us and making these things more efficient and more affordable, more accessible for dealers. And so the more folks can get to it and make good decisions. At the end of the day, dealers are out there trying to help customers who are in a tough spot.
Yes.
And we should do everything we can to try to make dealers, that whole relationship between the dealer and consumer work better. And it starts with helping dealers make a good decision and all those kind of things. So that's all part of the context of what we're talking about here. And so like I say, with us rolling out this new service, it's kind of we call it a compare and connect kind of service. It's simple. And people are asking questions. I should have brought the questions. We're getting questions by email and these
a lot of them. And
meetings.
There's a lot of similar questions that are coming out.
Questions. But it's like, as we said on Monday, it's people's natural tendency to compare what we're doing to what they've known from the past and, or, other types of services. And I'm saying it's new. It's not the same. And as I said to Michelle, and she was grinning last night, it's like, we're going to throw numbers together. We're going to get together and have a conversation. It doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't. Now we're going to have some stuff to navigate. I'll give you an example with our new group, our new format. We got people that are, I don't know if I want to be in the same group with a dealer from my own area. Look, NCM started dealing with that decades ago and forming 20 groups, and they've written all these complex bylaws to deal with all that stuff. And we'll eventually have to develop something.
We don't need it now.
When you step into one of our groups now, we don't have complex bylaws. We have people who are all trying to help each other out.
Just keeping things confidential. That's like the biggest thing is like what we talk about and the numbers of people. Let's keep it confidential. And
it's a simple agreement, simple understanding.
We just encourage dealers out there, vendors as well, join us in what this mission is. And dealers, we want to hear from you. We want to hear what are the things that you want to learn about, because that's what we're going to be bringing. There's another piece to this that I'll make an announcement later. I'm not ready to make an announcement about our dealer roundups and how that works with dealers, because it's going to be shifting a bit, and it's going to make it easier for everyone
Sure.
to participate that's a dealer.
Right.
Just because, it's that important.
And listen, I'm going to put my phone number on the screen, and the thing says need help. But in addition to that, if you have an idea, like you have something you conceptualize that you think, let's talk about it. Like, and I just think what you're hearing from us is Why Atway is certainly not going to be about profiteering. In fact, we have more announcements coming that you'll get a better idea about how much we mean that. Right. And so how transparent we're going to be about that very part of it. But in the meantime, just know that if you have ideas and you want to just talk about a way that some of these things could be done, I'd love to hear from you.
Or if you're interested in being part of a panel, we know that everyone gets, well, not everyone, there's a lot of people out there that it just, they don't like, it's that public speaking thing.
Yeah.
Being on a podcast or that it's just a conversation. It's like doing a Zoom meeting with someone and there just happen to be a few people listening.
Yeah.
And it's not nearly as terrifying as getting on an actual stage in front of an audience of 500. It's nothing like that at all.
This is very conversational. So we invite you, but even if you just want to text me, and I always tell people, look, text me golf tips. I mean, send me stuff that I could use, but let me know if there's something that you want to talk about relative to this industry. Just know that we're spreading the word. We're inviting that, and that collaboration extends to anybody who's hearing our voice. All we're going to ask when you come forward to collaborate, is this about you or is it about dealers? And if it's about dealers and success of dealers and creating solutions that are going to be favorable,
let us know what we can do.
Then let's get together and let's figure it out. So anyway, that's enough for our Wednesday. We appreciate you tuning in. Don't forget Brent Carmichael on Friday.
It's going to be a good one, and it's on overhead, and that's a big one for a lot of people, and that's one of the things that can get out of control.
Yeah,
probably the easiest.
And we're going to just keep him on the line till we have all the answers.
Right. Yeah. We really appreciate Brent. Thanks so much, guys. We will see you on Friday. Appreciate you joining me.